Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into something we all deal with daily. Time.
That's right. Specifically, how time is structured and, expressed in Spanish.
We've got a great beginner's guide as our foundation here. It covers, well, everything from saying the days to navigating cultural stuff around dates and seasons.
Yeah, it's pretty comprehensive. Days, months, telling time, seasons, date formats.
Practical phrases, common challenges, even learning tips.
Uh-huh.
So our mission for this deep dive is really to equip you with practical Spanish time-telling skills.
And that cultural awareness piece, too. It's not just words.
Exactly. Offering you a shortcut, sort of, to using these expressions with confidence and really understanding why they work the way they do.
Right. We want to get past just memorizing lists.
Help you grasp the logic, the culture behind it all.
Exactly. So you can actually feel comfortable talking about time. Like, genuinely comfortable.
Okay, let's kick off with the absolute basics then. The days of the week. Los días de la semana.
Right. We've got lunes, martes.
Miércoles. And that EA in miracles is like a yay sound, yeah?
Yeah, miércoles. Then jueves.
Where the J is that soft English H sound.
H-W-E-H.
Exactly. Then viernes. The V is soft, almost between a B and V.
V-I-E-R, knees.
Mm-hmm.
And then the weekend.
Sábado and domingo.
With the stress on the A in sábado and the N in domingo.
Perfect. Now, what are the first things you'll notice? A key insight, really.
Uh-huh.
The Spanish week starts on lunes. Monday.
Right. So Spanish calendars look different. Monday's in that first slot.
It is. And that kind of prioritization of the work week, it's subtle, but it can affect how you think about the week, even scheduling sometimes.
Good point. And here's a little grammar thing. All 7 days are masculine nouns.
Always masculine. So el lunes, un martes, you need that article.
El or un. And also, this trips up English speakers. You don't capitalize them.
Nope. Not unless it's the very first word in the sentence.
So I es miércoles, lowercase m.
That's it. It's a consistent visual thing in Spanish writing, easy to overlook at first. So how about talking about days relative to now?
Ah, yes. Super useful words here. Hoy is today.
Easy enough.
Ayer for yesterday. Mañana for tomorrow.
Okay. Hoy, ayer, mañana. Got it. What about further out?
Right. So for the day after tomorrow, it's pasado mañana.
Literally past tomorrow. That makes sense.
It does, yeah. And for the day before yesterday, you've got two options. Anterior.
Okay.
Or the shorter anterior. You hear anterior quite a bit in some places.
Good to know. So how do we use these in sentences? You mentioned articles.
Right. Usually you use the definite article el when you mean on a specific day.
So el viernes means on Friday.
Exactly. Like this Friday, probably. But
Right.
if it's a regular thing, like on Tuesdays,
Then you make it plural.
you do. Los martes. It's that difference between a specific time and a recurring habit.
Okay, so voy al mercado el sábado. I'm going this Saturday.
Probably.
But voy al mercado los sábados. I go every Saturday is my routine.
You got it. And if it's every single Thursday,
Then you'd say todos los jueves.
perfect. Todos los jueves plus the plural day.
This brings up specifying which Monday say.
Good point. This Monday is este lunes.
Okay.
Next Monday is el lunes que viene. Literally, the Monday that comes.
Que viene. Right. And last Monday.
El lunes pasado, past Monday.
Makes sense. And possession, like Tuesday's meeting. Like no apostrophe is right.
Definitely not. You use de, meaning of, so la cita del martes.
The appointment of the Tuesday.
Exactly. La cita del martes.
Let's weave in some culture. El fin de semana. Everyone knows that one, right?
The weekend. Sábado and domingo, our beloved days off.
And the work week is lunes a viernes, Monday to Friday. The language reflects it.
It really does. And there's this clear cultural value on sábado and domingo for rest. You might hear, sábado y domingo son mis días de descanso, my days of rest.
What about abbreviations like mon, tu, wed?
Not really in writing. On calendars, yes. You'll see single letters, maybe two. L, M, X for miércoles because M is taken.
Right. X for miércoles. Clever.
J for jueves, V for viernes, SD. But not typically in a text message or an email.
Okay, so let's try some examples. How about today is Thursday, May 5th.
Hoy es jueves, 5 de mayo.
I don't work on Sundays.
No trabajo los domingos. Using that plural los.
We have class on Wednesday.
Tenemos clase miércoles. Specific Wednesday.
What day is today?
¿Qué día es hoy?
Hoy es lunes. The concert was yesterday.
El concierto fue ayer.
The party is the day after tomorrow.
La fiesta es pasado mañana.
Nice. And a quick pronunciation tip. You mentioned phonetic.
Yeah, Spanish is great that way. Words sound like they look, mostly. And thinking about origins can help remember them.
Like lunes from Luna, the moon.
Exactly. Martes, Mars. Miércoles, Mercury. Jueves, Jupiter. Viernes, Venus.
And the weekend?
Sábado is linked to the Hebrew Sabbath, and Domingo to the Latin Dominus, meaning Lord.
That actually does help make them stick.
It can, yeah. Those little hooks.
So the big pitfalls, again, for English speakers, use el or los.
Right, the article is usually needed.
And don't capitalize them mid-sentence.
Correct. Lowercase unless it starts the sentence.
Okay, moving on. Los meses del año. The months.
All right. We've got enero, febrero, marzo.
That's Z in marzo. Dos in America D in Spain.
Generally, yeah. Like thin in Spain. Then abril, mayo, junio. Again, that J is an H sound.
Ornio.
And julio, same H sound. Julio. Then agosto, septiembre.
Which can also be septiembre without the P.
Yep, you see both. Octubre, noviembre, diciembre.
And the big rule here, same as days.
Exactly, no capitalization. Enero, febrero. Lowercase in the middle of a sentence.
Unless it's a proper name, like Guerra de Abril, April War.
Right. Proper nouns are the exception.
Now, mes itself, month, is masculine, right? El mes de abril.
It is, but if you just say April is here, it's usually llegó abril. No article needed right before the month itself.
Unless you're describing it, like the coldest January.
Then you'd need it, el enero más frío. The modifier triggers the article.
Okay, and abbreviations, like Jan, Feb.
Less common in writing than in English. You might see ene, Feb on calendars, maybe?
But usually you write the whole month out.
Yeah, or use the numerical format.
Yeah.
Which is DDMMYYY.
Day first. Super important.
Crucial. So 5 de julio de 2025, not 5 de julio.
So saying in May is just...
Mayo. Simple. This month. Este mes.
Next month.
El mes que viene or el próximo mes. Both work.
And last month.
El mes pasado. Pretty straightforward.
Okay. And the full date format again.
El day numbered the month of the year.
So August 15th, 2025 is a 15th de agosto de 2025.
Exactly. And if you add the day, el viernes, 15 de agosto to 2025, day comes first.
Now, the key thing about the day number.
Ah, yes. You use cardinal numbers 2, 3, 4, except for the first.
The first is special.
It is. It's a primero. So primero de mayo, May 1st.
Not el uno de mayo.
Nope, el primero. But then it's el 2 de mayo, el 3 de mayo. Back to cardinal.
Only the first is ordinal.
Oh,
got it. That's a really important distinction.
It is a common mistake.
Let's touch on some cultural stuff linked to January and Enero.
Año Nuevo, New Year's Day, of course.
Oh.
And El Dia de Reyes on January 6th. Three Kings Day, big gift-giving time.
Yeah. Bigger than Christmas in some places. Right?
Often, yeah. Then Febrero.
Carnival. Carnival before Lent. And Valentine's Day. Dia de San Valentin.
Right. Marzo and April brings Semana Santa, Holy Week, Easter, Pascua.
Huge processions, especially in Spain.
Definitely. And it's spring, primavera in the Northern Hemisphere. Festivals like Las Fallas in Valencia.
But autumn down south. Always got to remember the hemisphere flip.
Crucial point. Mayo has Mother's Day, Dia de la Madre, and Cinco de Mayo.
Which is more of a Mexican cultural pride day, commemorating a battle, not Independence Day.
Exactly, the Battle of Puebla. June and July, Junio and Julio, that's summer, verano up north, vacation time, vacaciones.
Named after Julius and Augustus Caesar.
That's right. Agosto is often peak vacation month in Spain, but winter in the Southern Hemisphere.
September. Lots of Independence Days in Latin America then.
Yes, Mexico, Chile, several Central American countries, and back to school in Spain.
Octubre brings El Día de la Hispanidad.
Columbus Day equivalent. And Halloween, Noche de Brujas, plus the start of Dia de Muertos season.
Day of the Dead. Which is really big in November, right? November 1st and 2nd.
Especially in Mexico, yes. Also, other revolution or independence anniversaries in November.
And December is packed. Navidad, Christmas, Año Nuevo, New Year.
Nochebuena, Christmas Eve, Nochevieja, New Year's Eve, with the 12 grapes tradition in Spain. Lots of food like turrón and tamales.
It really shows how the calendar and culture are woven together.
Absolutely. Some handy month phrases. El mes que viene, next month. El mes pasado, last month.
And beginning, middle, end of the month?
A principios de, a mediados de, a finales de month. And mensual means monthly.
So asking for the date.
¿A cuántos estamos? Or, ¿cuál es la fecha de hoy?
And you'd answer.
Hoy es lunes, 5 de mayo de 2025. Or shorter, hoy es 5 de mayo.
And tomorrow is October 1st.
Mañana es 1 de octubre. Using primero.
Cool. It's neat how months like Febrero, Marzo, April connect back to Latin.
Yeah, you see those roots across Romance languages.
All right, let's switch gears. Telling time. La hora. Ahora. That's crucial.
Essential. Okay, the basics is la una for 1 o'clock. Singular una.
Because hora, hour, is feminine. La hora.
Exactly. And for all other hours, it's plural. Son las dos, son las tres, etc.
Using las because horas plural is implied and feminine.
Correct. Son las siete, son las diez.
What about noon and midnight?
Also singular. Es mediodía, it's midday noon. Es medianoche, it's midnight.
Okay, es la una, son las dos, es mediodía, es medianoche. Got the base, adding minutes.
You use y, meaning and. So 2.05 is son las dos y cinco.
8.20.
Son las 8:20.
1.10.
Es la 1:10, remember, es a las 3:30.
Right. And the special shortcuts for half past and quarter past.
Yes. Y media for and a half. So 3.30 is son las 3:30.
And y cuarto for and a quarter. 11.15 is son las ones y cuarto.
You can also say y quince for 0.15 and y tren for the 0.30, but y cuarto and y medio is super common.
Okay, now the fun part, the minus method.
Ah, yes. This is for minutes before the hour, once you pass the half-hour mark.
So instead of saying 5:50,
You often say 10 to 6. The word for minus or 2 here is menos.
so 5.50 is son las 6 menos 10.
Yes.
6 minus 10.
Exactly. And 2.45 is son las 3 menos cuarto, 3 minus a quarter.
Whoa. Okay, so this menos method is used from like 0.31 to 0.59.
Generally, yeah. You state the next hour and subtract the minutes needed to get there.
It's a different way of thinking about it, more oriented to the upcoming hour.
It is. It's quite a conceptual shift, but you can always use the E method too.
So you could say 740A as son las 6:40.
Absolutely. That's always understood. But the menos form is very, very common, especially in Spain.
Good to know both. And if it's exactly on the hour, like
Yeah.
5:40 sharp.
You can add en punto, son las 5 en punto, on the dot.
Nice. How about AM and PM? Do they use those?
Not the abbreviations in speech, no. They clarify with phrases.
Okay, how?
De la mañana for morning, basically midnight till noon.
So 7 a.m. is las 7 de la mañana.
Correct. Then de la tarde for the afternoon and early evening, say noon till sunset, maybe 6 or 7 p.m.
So 3 p.m. is las 3 de la tarde.
Uh-huh. And then de la noche for the night, after sunset till midnight.
10 p.m. would be las 10 de la noche.
You got it. For noon and midnight, you can add del mediodía or de la medianoche. But just as mediodía medianoche is usually fine.
So son las 8 de la noche is 8 p.m. Is la 1:30 de la mañana is 1:30 a.m.
Exactly. Context helps, but if you're unsure, you can always ask de la mañana o de la tarde.
Makes sense. What about the 24-hour clock? I see that written down sometimes.
You do, especially in formal settings, schedules transport. 14:0 for 2 p.m.
But in conversation.
Much more common to use the 12-hour clock with de la mañana, de la tarde, de la noche.
So if I see 18:30 on a schedule.
Formally, you could read it 18:30. Conversationally, you'd say 6:30 de la tarde.
Okay. How do I ask for the time?
Simplest is ¿qué hora es?
What hour is it?
Right. A bit more polite, maybe stopping someone on the street. ¿Qué tiene hora? Excuse me, do you have the time?
And the answer always starts with es la una or son las.
Always. Then the time.
Got it. And prepositions. At, time, from, until.
A es a las. La fiesta es a las 9. The party is at 9.
And from, until.
De a or desde hasta. Trabajo de 9 a 5. I work from 9 to 5.
Any other useful little time words?
Sure. En punto, on the dot, más o menos around about casi almost pasadas, little past.
Okay. Now, regional variations. You mentioned Spain likes menos. What about elsewhere?
In parts of Latin America, Mexico, for example, you might hear faltan, like faltan 15 para las 8. 15 minutes are lacking for 8 o'clock, meaning 7.45.
Or un cuarto para las 8, a quarter to 8.
Exactly. Same meaning as las 8 menos cuarto, just a different phrasing.
But the straightforward 7:45 works everywhere.
Yep, that's universally understood.
A good tip for practicing this.
Listen to Spanish news or radio. They announce the time constantly. Also, maybe change your phone language. See the time written in Spanish all day.
Good idea. Okay, let's shift to seasons and weather. Las estaciones y el tiempo.
All right, the 4 seasons. La primavera. That's spring. It's feminine.
Okay, la primavera. El verano is summer, masculine. El otoño is autumn or fall, also masculine. Note the tilde on the N.
Otoño. Got it. And winter.
El invierno.
Masculine too.
And just like day and months, no
Again,
caps.
No capitalization. Lowercase primavera, verano. The general word for season is estación, feminine. So las 4 estaciones, the 4 seasons.
How do you say in spring or in summer?
Usually just en primavera. En verano. Sometimes you'll see en el verano. The article is a bit optional there.
But if it's a specific season, like in the winter of 2023.
Then you definitely use the article. En el invierno de 2023. Or in winter in Madrid.
Now, the hemisphere thing, this is huge.
Absolutely critical. Seasons are flipped. June, July, August is summer in Spain, Mexico.
But winter in Argentina, Chile, South Africa.
Exactly. December, January, February is their summer, and vice versa.
What about near the equator?
They might talk more about temporada de lluvias, rainy season, and temporada seca, dry season, but they still generally know the four-season terms.
So in España, el verano empieza en junio.
But in Argentina, el verano comienza en diciembre. You have to adjust your thinking.
Super important for travel or just talking to people. How do we ask about weather?
Two main ways. ¿Qué tiempo hace? What weather does it make? Or, ¿cómo está el clima? How is the climate weather?
Tiempo means weather here too, not just time.
Correct. That's a key point we'll come back to. Tiempo can be time or weather.
Okay, so ¿qué tiempo hace? Basic weather answers.
Hace frío, well, it's cold. Hace calor, it's hot.
Using hace from hace to make either.
Often, yes. Hace buen tiempo, it's nice weather. Hace mal tiempo, it's bad weather. Hace sol, it's sunny.
What about rain or snow?
For those, you usually use estar. Está lloviendo, it's raining. Está nevando, it's snowing. Está nublado, it's cloudy.
Okay, so has for general conditions, está for ongoing actions like raining, snowing.
That's a good rule of thumb. Also, hay humedad. It's humid using hay, there is. Or hay una brisa, fresca, there's a cool breeze.
So each season has its typical weather.
Right. Primavera, flowers, rain. There's a saying, abro aguas mil, April, 1,000 waters.
Verano, heat, sun, beach time.
Otoño, leaves falling, cooler temps. Invierno, cold, maybe snow, ski season in some places.
And culturally, the seasons matter too.
Hugely. Spring is renewal, outdoors. Summer is vacation time, festivals like San Fermin.
Autumn has harvest festivals, Dia de Muertos. Winter has Christmas, New Year's, Reyes Magos.
So if you want to talk about your favorite season, ¿cuál es tu estación favorita?
I could say, mi estación favorita es el otoño porque me gustan los colores. Something like that.
Perfect. Or talk about changes. En verano, los días son más largos. The days are longer.
Key takeaway, ¿qué tiempo hace? Is weather. Don't mix it with ¿qué hora es for time.
Exactly. That tiempo versus hora confusion is common.
Okay, let's get into calendar and date formats. El calendario y las fechas. The absolute number one thing.
Day, month, year. Always.
So March 4, 2025 is written.
4320025. Or for the Martha 2025.
Totally opposite of the U.S. month day year. Huge potential for mix-ups.
Massive. If you see 060720025 in Spanish, that's July 6th.
Not June 7th. Wow. Best advice.
Write the month name out. Or use an unambiguous abbreviation like OCT to avoid any doubt.
Good call. How do you say the date formally?
¿Es el day de Montier? ¿Es el 25 de junio de 2025?
Or just a day and month?
Es el 25 de junio.
And asking the date again. ¿A cuántos estamos? Or ¿qué fecha es hoy?
Right. And you can answer, ¿estamos a 10 de abril? Or hoy es 25 de junio.
How about saying years, like 2023?
You say the thousands, then the rest. 2023.
1985.
1985.
2000.
2000.
Unlike English, you don't say and after thousand. Oh, 1001 isn't mil you.
Nope, just mil un, no you.
Can you say the year 23 informally for 2023?
Yeah, informally you might hear el año 23, but the full form 2023 is standard.
Okay, decades like the 60s.
Es año 60 or los años 60, or la década de los 60.
Centuries, like 21st century.
They use Roman numerals, siglo XXI, but say the cardinal number, el siglo XXI.
So siglo tech is el siglo XX.
Exactly. You might occasionally see ordinals for the first 10 centuries, but cardinals are the norm now.
How might a date look written formally, like in a letter?
Location, day, month, year. Madrid, 2 de abril de 2025.
And if you include the day of the week?
It comes first. El lunes 4 de junio de 2023. Notice el lunes covers on Monday.
Right. Now, remind me about cardinal versus ordinal for dates.
Cardinal numbers 2, 3, 4 for all dates except the first.
The first is primero de mayo, or written 1 de mayo.
Correct, but it's 2 de mayo, 3 de mayo. No segundo or tercero for dates.
Just primero. Got it. Essential words recap. Hoy, mañana, ayer.
Antier or intier, day before yesterday. Pasado mañana, day after tomorrow.
Fecha is date. Fecha de nacimiento, birth date. Cumpleaños, birthday.
Right. And speaking of birthdays, age, how do you say I am 20?
Use tener, to have, not ser or estar. Tengo 20 años, I have 20 years.
Exactly. And asking, ¿Cuántos años tienes? How many years do you have?
No, ¿qué edad eres?
No, you can ask ¿qué edad tienes? What age do you have?
That's fine too. Okay, so my birthday is April 3rd.
Mi cumpleaños es el 3 de abril.
I was born on April 3rd, 1990.
Nací el 3 de abril de 1990.
And happy birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños. And notice cumpleaños is singular there, even though it ends in los.
Interesting. Other useful date terms?
Hoy en ocho means a week from today. Hoy en quinces, 2 weeks.
Like a fortnight.
Exactly. And quincena itself means fortnight or often a 2-week pay period.
Fin de semana is weekend. Business day.
Día hábil or día librable.
Public holiday.
Día feriado or día festivo.
That numerical date confusion is worth stressing again. U.S. versus rest of world.
Absolutely. 3/4/2025 means April 3rd in Spanish, March 4th in the U.S. Always double check or write the month.
Good advice. And briefly, BCA.
BC is AC, antes de Cristo. AD is DC, después de Cristo. You might also see ACEDCE for BCE, CE.
Okay, let's move into practical phrases. Scheduling stuff. At what time?
¿A qué hora? So, ¿a qué hora es la reunión? What time is the meeting? Answer es a las 3 p.m.
I have an appointment at.
Tengo una cita a las 2. I have an appointment at 2.
Store hours. The store opens from 9 to 5.
La tienda abre de 9 a 6, o desde las 9 hasta las 5.
We're meeting at 8.
Quedamos a las 8. Using quedar for arranging to meet.
General times of day. In the morning, in the afternoon.
Usually por la mañana, por la tarde, por la noche.
But if it's a specific time in the morning, the class is at 10 a.m.
Then es de la mañana. La clase es a las 10 de la mañana. Same for la tarde de la noche.
And at noon, at midnight.
Al mediodía, a la medianoche. Nos vemos a la mediodía. See you at noon.
Daily routine words. Early, late, on time.
Temprano is early, tarde is late. A tiempo is on time.
So, me levanto temprano, I get up early. Trabajo hasta tarde. I work until late. Llegué a tiempo. I arrived on time.
Exactly. Llegar tarde is to arrive late. Estar retrasado or voy retrasado means I'm running late.
First thing in the morning.
A primera hora. Tengo que llamar a primera hora. I have to call first thing.
Duration. How long does it last?
¿Cuánto tiempo? ¿Cuánto dura la película? Dura 2 horas. How long is the movie? It lasts 2 hours.
Verbs for to take time.
Tardar. Engarar. Yo tardo 30 minutos en llegar. It takes me 30 minutes to get there. Or llevar tiempo. Llevo 1 hora esperando. I've been waiting for an hour. It's taking me an hour waiting.
And from but hasta. Hasta?
O de a. La clase es de 2 a 3.
All day, all night.
Todo el día, toda la noche.
Frequency. Every day.
Cada día o todos los días. Estudio español todos los días. I study Spanish every day.
Every week?
Cada semana o todas las semanas.
Every 2 days.
Cada 2 días. Voy al gimnasio cada 2 días.
Once a week. Twice a month. 3 times a day.
Una vez por semana o a la semana. 2 veces al mes. 3 veces al día.
That word vez means time as in occasion, right?
Exactly. Not clock time. Instance or occasion.
Okay. Every weekend.
Cada fin de semana.
Or just los fines de semana?
On Mondays, Tuesdays. Habitually.
Los lunes, los martes.
More frequency words. Daily, often, occasionally. A diario, daily. A menudo, often. De vez en cuando, from time to time, occasionally.
Rarely, never.
Rara vez, rarely. Nunca, never. Nunca llego tarde. I never arrive late.
Always.
Siempre llego temprano. I always arrive early.
How about some idioms related to time?
Oh yeah, Spanish has good ones. Tiempo es oro.
Time is gold. Same as English.
Pretty much. No veo la hora de means I can't wait to. Literally, I don't see the hour of.
I like that one. Ya era hora.
It's about time. You say that when something finally happens.
A la hora de la verdad.
At the moment of truth. When it really counts.
Estar a tiempo.
To be on time.
And that Spanish one. Pilar el toro.
Yeah.
Catch the bull.
Yeah. It means to be running out of time, getting overwhelmed by a deadline. Very common in Spain.
Hurry up.
De prisa. Or démonos prisa. Let's hurry.
Kill time.
Hacer tiempo. Tuve que hacer tiempo. I had to kill time.
Full-time, part-time.
A tiempo completo, a tiempo parcial.
Rush hour.
Hora punta. No tomes el metro a las 6. Es hora punta. Don't take the metro at 6. It's rush hour.
Keep track of time. Lose track of time.
Llevar la cuenta del tiempo. Perder la noción del tiempo.
Okay, so basics for beginners. A las for time. Desde hasta or día for duration.
Cada for each very, ves for time occasion, todos los for habitual days weeks.
And siempre and nunca. Always and never.
Those are fundamental.
All right, let's focus on those common challenges. The pitfalls for English speakers. Recap number 1.
Capitalization. Days, months, seasons, lowercase unless they start a sentence. Don't capitalize lunes, enero, primavera, mid-sentence.
Number 2. Articles with days.
Usually need it for on a specific day. Nos vemos el viernes. See you on Friday. Not en viernes.
Exception.
After the verb ser. Hoy es miércoles, no el there.
Prepositions in and on.
Right. And for months and years, en mayo, in 2024, for clock times, a las 3, el fin de semana, or en el fin de semana for on the weekend.
What about in the morning, afternoon? General versus specific time.
Generally por la mañana, por la tarde. Specific time in the morning uses the las 10 de la mañana.
False friends. This is a big one. Tiempo, hora, vez.
Huge. Tiempo is general time. I don't have time. No tengo tiempo.
Or weather.
¿Qué tiempo hace?
Hoy es clock time. What time is it? ¿Qué hora es? Or hour.
And veces time is an occasion or instance. How many times? ¿Cuántas veces? My first time, mi primera vez.
Never use tiempo for asking the clock time.
Never ¿qué tiempo es? Always ¿qué hora es?
Age again? Use.
Tener. Tengo 20 años. Not soy or estoy. Ask cuántos años tienes or qué edad tienes.
Dates. Ordinals versus cardinals.
Only primero for the first. All others are cardinal numbers. El 3 de mayo, not el tercero de mayo.
Gender mix-ups.
Día es masculino. El día, buen día. Noche en tarde are feminine. La noche, buenas noches. Fin de semana es masculino. El fin. Estación en temporada, season are feminine.
La mañana.
La mañana is the morning feminine. El mañana means the future or tomorrow as a noun. Masculine, but that's less common than just using mañana adverbially.
Possessives for days.
Doesn't exist. ¿Usted? La clase del martes. Tuesday's class.
Week starts on.
Monday in Spanish calendars, different visual layout.
Reading 24-hour time. 16.30.
16:30. Or, conversationally, 4:30 de la tarde. Never 1630.
E versus manos for time.
Remember, menos is common after the half hour, referring to the next hour. 8.45 is 9 menos cuarto, but 8:45 is always okay too.
Punctuation in numbers. Thousands and decimals.
Opposite of English sometimes. Periods for thousands, 1000s, commas for decimals, 2.5 horas.
Using desde has.
Means for a duration of time, implying something started in the past and continues. Estudio español desde hace 2 meses. I have been studying Spanish for 2 months.
Proximo versus este for this coming.
Can be ambiguous. Próximo lunes or el lunes que viene usually means the next one in the sequence. Este lunes often means the Monday of the current week. Context is key.
A nice little pattern for weekdays versus weekend.
Yeah. Weekdays often end in es. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes. Weekend days end in es. Sábado, domingo.
And always remember context for tiempo. Time, weather versus hora, clock time.
Crucial distinction. ¿Qué hora es versus qué tiempo hace?
Okay, let's talk learning techniques. How can people get the hang of all this?
Mnemonics can help. Link martes to Mars, jueves to Jupiter, maybe Lala lunes, whatever works for you.
Associate Augusta with Emperor Augustus in the summer.
Yeah. Chunking helps too. Practice days Monday, Sunday, group weekdays versus weekend, learn months by season.
Kid songs.
Definitely. Look up Spanish children's songs for days and months on YouTube. They're catchy and drolly order. Lunes, martes, miércoles.
Make it a daily habit.
Yes. Say the day and day in Spanish every morning. Hoy es martes, 10 de octubre de 2025.
Change device settings.
Great immersion tactic. Phone, computer to Spanish. You'll see jueves 14 de abril constantly. Put your calendar app in Spanish.
Flashcards and apps.
Of course. Anki, memories for spaced repetition. Quizlet for visuals. Duolingo introduces it early. Closemaster for context.
Use it in real life.
Absolutely. Keep a planner or journal in Spanish. Dentista martes, 3 p.m. Write your study schedule using Spanish days. Talk to yourself. Hoy tengo yoga a las 6 de la tarde.
Language partner or tutor.
Ideal for practice. Have them quiz you. ¿Qué día es hoy? Y la fecha. Ask when is questions. ¿Cuándo es el concierto? El sábado a las 8.
Digital tools.
Besides apps, use voice assistants like Siri or Google in Spanish. ¿Qué hora es? ¿Qué fecha es hoy? Language learning platforms often have pronunciation feedback.
Games and quizzes.
Lots online. Spanish.cl, 123, Teach Me have time-telling quizzes. Write down digital times and translate, or vice versa.
Leverage cognates.
Yes. Marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto are pretty close. Focus practice on the trickier ones like miércoles, jueves. Break them down. Miércoles, jueves. Stress is key.
Listen and repeat.
Crucial. Listen to weather forecasts, news intros. Hoy es lunes, 15 de julio. Mimic the pronunciation. Repeat new words aloud. Clap syllables. Exaggerate stress.
Any expert advice?
Consistency. Build it into your routine. Practice in full sentences, not just isolated words. Los lunes voy al gimnasio, not just lunes.
Make it personal.
Yes. Use your own birthday. Mi cumpleaños es el 10 de marzo. your real schedule. Trabajo de lunes a viernes. Link words to your life. Sábado means movie night. Domingo means soccer.
And review.
Constantly. La repetición es la madre de la enseñanza. Repetition is the mother of learning. Mentally say the time or date in Spanish whenever you check it.
Quick recap of useful apps tools.
Duolingo, basics. Memorice Anki, vocab, Spanish dict examples, Q&A. Forvo, pronunciation. Italki, tandem, native practice.
Be mindful of regional differences, too.
Yeah, like ahorita meaning right now,
Yeah.
or in a bit, depending where you are. Cuarto para las veces menos cuarto. If you're focusing on one region, ask locals what sounds most natural.
Good tip. Any fun practice exercises?
Listen to that song Que Dia Es Hoy by Alexandra Racha, or the classic kids song Sol Solicito, which includes the days. Try singing along.
Awesome. So wrapping up, we've really dug into days, months, telling time, seasons, dates, practical phrases.
Tackled those common challenges and hopefully offered some really useful learning tips.
The goal really being to build your confidence so you can understand and actually use these Spanish time expressions naturally.
And remember, the time you put into practicing this stuff, el tiempo que inviertes practicando, it really does pay off. It makes a huge difference.
So keep at it. Think about how understanding the structure of time in another language also gives you a little window into how another culture perceives it. Does starting the week on Monday subtly change how the flow feels? Does using menos to tell time shape how you anticipate the hour? Something to mull over.
Absolutely. It's more than just words.
Buena suerte.
And
Adelante with your Spanish.